Okay. Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing. Oh my gosh. Ah, I don't know if you're seeing me, but I'm not seeing anything on the system. I don't know if the system is crashed. Uh, I don't know if anybody's seeing me. I'm having a blank screen in front of me. So give me some time. I don't know if I'm on or not. I can't be able to see if you're responding to me. Hold on, I gotta make sure that I gotta make sure that hold on. Just give me some time, people. Please give me some time. I don't know what's going on, but I thought I had some working on the system. Hmm. Just give me some time. I have a blank screen in front of me. I cannot see anything. So, don't know if it's the internet, but I'm not having any feedback. Okay, well, let me see. Okay, well, I'm seeing myself on the mirror on the phone. Okay, well, what I'm going to have to do is do a magic. I am going to look and see how I'm being followed by the phone. I know, but to those who are looking, I'm having a very blank screen in front of me. So I want to be able to control the system. So let me see what's going on. Let me see what's going on. Okay? Just give me a minute. Let me restart the system. Aha. Well, it seems like I'm back up. Yes, I am. I am. So, yes. Okay. So to those who were joining earlier in a couple of minutes ago, where my system just suddenly crashed, just you can it's a live streaming back again. Share the live as you're coming in. Share the live. I'm seeing and hearing you loud and clear. I know, but I was off just now. I didn't know what happened, but everything just suddenly went blank. So even if you were seeing me, I wasn't. I gotta pay attention. I gotta monitor the screen in which I'm being able to see not only myself, but able to get to comprehend that you're seeing me. So I had a problem where the camera was running, but the screen was blank. So I wasn't I wasn't seeing myself. Yes, I am back. So share the life. It's another night of it's an edifying evening to those who are now joining. It will all be about an edification process, and I am happy to be here with you once again at this auspicious occasion. My name is Dr. Matthews-Bey, and when I say doctor, it's just a formality, okay? It's just a formality. As a matter of fact, if anybody can be a doctor, as long as you edify yourself in the proper way. Now, before I start, I want to explain something to those who are looking into some persons who I had the opportunity. No, I can't say opportunity. That means a different word. When you know the etymology of words, then you'll get to realize there's certain things you cannot say, and it's it's what we gotta comprehend and understand. When we really comprehend, when we really stand over words and comprehend it, and comprehend means to literally have a knowledge of it, and we study the etymology of it, the creation of how the word was created to mean what, then you realize that there's certain things you cannot say. So tonight will be the secret spell of English language. We will talk about that. But before I start this evening program, I want to say to you that Aboriginals like myself, who has who has made a declaration, a proclamation, as a matter of fact, proclaiming that I am no longer a Guyanese citizen of the citizenship on Guyana, and I declare myself as a Moorish American. I want you to comprehend what I'm saying. This is not an escape from a particular, it's to come out of slavery, yes. But when you become a Moor, or when you acknowledge yourself in the proclamation as a Moor, there are certain things that are required of you. One, to read and to comprehend. That's one of the very first thing, because you need to know what you're doing at the end of the day. Nobody will teach you. Yes, you'll have you will have a session where we will be able to edify you like how I'm doing it here. But it is to help you to understand that you have to craft your knowledge by yourself with the information given to you. Do you comprehend? As a matter of fact, Islam, my brothers and sisters who are Moors, Islam to you, Islam. Uh, Black love to you who are looking, and a very, very, very pleasant good evening to all my Aboriginal brothers and sisters. So I'm trying to let you know that this is not a session where uh, where this is not a session where I want to show you that you can escape from something. There's no escape from the only thing that you're doing. You're giving up your rights as a citizen of the corporate of Guyana, and you're adopting by proclaiming yourself as as an Aboriginal person who is likely to be a Moorish American. And when you pick up such rights, you need to comprehend that there is a process of reading and studying. We will take you through that process because you can't learn it off your own, but by constantly listening to what I have to say, people will want to join, not join, proclaim. Proclaim your nationality by doing what? We need to comprehend, we need to read and write and comprehend properly. So when we do that now, we enforce the Constitution. And by enforcing the Constitution, now de facto administrations will now have to deal with us. So we can proclaim not only our rights as Aboriginals, but we must have our royalty, which was owed to us from the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1777. So to those who are looking, we want you to comprehend. It's not we don't want you to comprehend. It is part of being a Moor. You have to comprehend. You have to read and study. And then you have to enforce the Constitution. So this is the process now of how I'm showing how it's being done. So tonight it's the secret spell of English language. And when I say the secret spell, I mean the secret spell. There is a secret spell. So I'm now helping you to awake. No, sorry, I have to stop using that word too. I have to start helping you to arise to the occasion. And we can get into the etymology of the word wake. Mhm. Believe you me, every day you learn something new. And I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Today I was raveling through the dictionary trying to comprehend most of the things that I'm really not aware of. And you could imagine there's things that we speak every day. And I'm going to tell you what the English language was created for. When the Europeans trying to conquer the world, along with Constantine and all the rest of them, who went to Africa, who went to Asia, who went to this part, that part, and tried to conquer the world. They met a people who spoke their own languages or dialects, which are the Aboriginal people of the land. And their languages would have become law. So, what has happened? People were educated, they meet stupid and dumb people. They were educated in their own culture and in their own language. So in order to do bargain with them, they had to comprehend their culture and language barriers. So what they did, they entered into treaties with most of these Aboriginal or indigenous people. That's why throughout the world on this globe, most no not most all of what you see, it's more or less a commercial entity of a corporation that you call countries and gives themselves borders. And in order to control the world population, you call them uh, subjects, two-thirds of a human being, and all these fancy words they will come up in. But they are subjects, really, slaves. In order to control them, you had to create one language. And to create that language was hard. So what they did to comprehend what they were doing, they combined the different dialects and languages together to create English language. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to explain to you. Let me start from this. It says the hands of collusion entangling the language to foster illusion. The cultures, their theology is its etymology, and know it evolves and how it evolves over time to undermine the original thoughts it defines. Words are electronic vibration. So they knew from the inception that words are what vibrates the people. To stand as a leader and to gather an army, you had to speak the language, you had to speak the culture, you had to understood try and you had to understood what you're trying to say. It is because you comprehend the people. So by changing, try to change one's identity, you have to create a language so they can cleave onto that identity. And what is the identity? It says the secret spell of the English language that we live by as acts, codes, and statutes are a life sentence. So we're going to talk about it now. We are going to not only express, and I want those who trying to reason, you want to get the etymology of the reasoning of what I'm doing, you can call in. I Tonight is your night to call in, but it's not to talk about the system politically. It's to talk about the etymology of the culture in which you came from, so you can eradicate the system that is so embedded in you. So just to remember, tonight is Friday night. Hold on. You said the volume is gone. Anybody's hearing me presently? Hold on. Hold on. I see somebody says the volume is gone. Can you give me a thumbs up if you're hearing me now? Because I kind of mute what I'm receiving on Facebook. I didn't know if I mute the entire thing. So just give me a thumbs up if you are hearing me. Give me a thumbs up, please. Somebody, please give me a thumbs up. So let me know if you're comprehending or you're hearing me what I'm saying. Anybody's hearing me? Just give me a thumbs up before I continue to start. Oh, yes, somebody says loud and clear. Oh, well, I figured out because I was using my phone earlier to see if I'm on live and I muted it. I must have muted the sounds originally on the Facebook. So, my apologies. So, tonight we're going to talk about the secret spell of English language. Let me expose to you one of the spell. And English language has has categories of spell. One of them are the colors, the identification definition of colors. Like for instance, in Guyana, if you see a man dressed in blue and black, right away a spell has been cast because you already know policemen wear blue and black, and if you see them in the area, it casts a spell. The spell is making you afraid when you see them. Normal human beings like yourself, but the spell is to make you afraid. And when they approach you because you have so much fear that you don't know to respond, they now take control of your being. That's one of them. So when we look at the word police, it's a private force, but it's contracted to police the citizens, the subjects. If you look at how it was created, the police force was created to capture runaway slaves. Yes, they call it law enforcement. The etymology, laws. What are the laws? Acts, codes, conducts, and statutes. Those are the laws. You don't want to be a slave. You refuse, but you're in the system. So I got to run and catch you and put you in prison. And the only way you can go to prison is when you don't know to defend yourself. So you're on the docks of the ship, and the magistrate who has no authority over you, he or she cannot, find he or she, the system does not give them any authority over you. It's only if you give them authority over you. So by standing in the docks, defenseless and shaking, and they ask you a question, you're afraid. So you answer and you say things that are wrongfully, and next thing you know, your own words, which is law, puts you in jail because you're unable to represent yourself. And the poor liar, where you hire, finding all the money for, he's smiling because he still got to get paid. To practice law, remember there's no original. Everything is about a practice. You practice dentistry. You practice medical. You become a practicing medical practitioner. You become a practicing lawyer in the legal profession. Everything is about practice. There's no origin. So when they see you, it's about practicing on you. If for those who are looking, if you comprehend what I'm saying. So to those who are now joining, welcome to this, the Dr. Matthews-Bey show from Guyana to the Caribbean and around the world. So we're going to start our conversation tonight. Tonight is your night, ladies and gentlemen, Guyanese all in the diaspora. Tonight is your night. But I want you to comprehend anything that pertaining to the democratic institutions of the corporations of Guyana. I wouldn't want to continue that conversation because it's basically for people who they are enslaving. There's there in a democracy, it is created to enslave a people, or you call them subjects. That's what a democracy is. I can't find a plain way to expound upon it, or I can't find a softer way to explain it if you comprehend. I cannot. It's hard for me to find a softer way to explain it to you so you can comprehend. I can't pad democracy on its head and hoping it comes to you softly because it's coming to you real hard, real hard. You know, I was studying all these words, and today I got some more information, kind of wake me up. It says here, most people die on a Monday morning between the hours of 6 to 9 a.m. than any other time of the week. And we are going to break up the etymology of what I'm talking about. We can go down into it, right? So we translate the word translate with a trance. So we in our words we translate the energies to us because we want to translate ourselves. We want to translate our speech so people can be able to understand or comprehend, but we don't know we're using it in the wrong fashion, and I'm going to show you why. It says here, so when you awake, it's a funeral party for the dead. Like when you say, oh, I awake this morning, the word wake or awake, however you want to put it, I'm telling you the etymology of it. So I'm trying to show you how we use raw words in the wrong context, but it translates an energy. Remember from the beginning, I said, this is what I said. This is what I said. The hands of collusion entangling the language to foster illusions. The culture's their the culture's theology is its etymology, and how it evolves over time to undermine the original thoughts it defines. Words are electric vibrations. So when you use the words that comes out of your mouth, the system knows it's an electric vibration, which is law. So when you say you're fine, when you say, well, you say, yes, Your Honor, I committed a crime. What is the crime? You can't even identify because you're not knowledgeable of the fact. You got to hire a lawyer. The lawyer now has to predetermine what you have done and try to work it out in its best way to free you from your thoughts so you cannot be sentenced. He's not freeing you from the system. You're still in the system. Freeing you from your thoughts so he can better get you out of putting yourself into prison. So when we say, so when you wake and you say, I awake, you got to remember the word wake means it's a funeral party for the dead. That's the etymology. And I'm going to show you why Mondays is the wrong day for some people, because that's the day when you are expired, when the system uses its expiry date on you because you utilize the words that comes out of your mouth that puts you in an eternal prison. Morning, look at the word morning. You become part of the morning party. So if you say, well, look, good morning, I'm like, okay, yeah, good morning, because morning means morning. But no, morning doesn't mean morning. When the sun rise, is happy sunrise, or or happy rising, my brothers and sisters. You rise. When you say morning, good morning, you're still in mourning of the past, which you have been made weak of. Mourning is a state you are in when you attend the wake. Check it out. You awake and then you mourn. I now awake and I say good morning, I'm still mourning. When I attend a wake, which wake or whose wake are you attending? Check it. The dead. Who is the dead? Me, because I'm identifying myself as a dead individual. According to the laws of the corporation, acts, codes, and conducts already declare me dead. They're just waiting physically for me to die. They already declared me dead because I'm using these same words. They are created. So when we say these things, we send out an electric vibration. So it returns to us unknowing. So what our body does, listen, because these are why or how the words were created for. So the body now listens to what we say. Words are important. You never heard somebody said, oh, words are molding and binding. You never heard that person said that. You never heard somebody say, "Be careful what you say," because the words that comes out of your mouth are molding and binding. Yes, I've heard that. Now I've comprehend the reason why I've keep hearing it. Now that I'm a more, then I get to comprehend more that you got to be careful in which the way you use words, because it now can put you into trouble. Because if you say I'm black, oh, well, people turn up for the stock. Come on, hold on, arrest you. Man turn up. Say, look, this black one here belongs to me. Police arrest you. You've already identified yourself as a runaway slave. Police come for you now to find a petty charge, forgive you, and to put you into the slave complex, which is the prison. You spend 2, 3 months, then you come out, you gotta go look for work. And because you have been in prison, now you ain't got no choice. People now underpay you. You become a cheap labor. You become you still as a stock, but you become lesser to who you are and what you are when you went in. When you know when you're coming out from when you went in, unless you went in as a civil rights leader or as an activist, where people give you respect because you have you try you and you want to fight for the rights of people. But if you don't know what's happening around you, well, then you now become more enslaved because they're taking your rights away from you. A pleasant good evening to those who are now joining. Our discussion is the secret spell of English language. It's a night where you can call in. It's still that night, Friday night, where you can call in and we can have this discussion. I'll be very much pleased with you. We were in morning and wake, where you say, I wake to the morning. Is that you're in the wake, but you're still mourning. And these are the meaning of these words. It's the etymology of it. It's not what is in. It's not what you can just turn to the dictionary and find. It was from the creation of these words. It is how these words were created, like the word obia. People say, well, obia is witchcraft. No, it's a Swahilian word that means obedience to the laws of nature. That's what obia means. And the word obey derives from the word obia. That is the etymology. Where did obey came from? Oh, the word obia. That's the etymology. And this is the only way we win cases in the de facto administration because there's nothing original about them. It's a domicile institution and its subjects are domiciled just like it. So when you parading yourself before the courts of the domicile institution, you become an idiot because you don't know what you're about. You can't defend yourself. This is the only way you end up in court. You end up before the magistrate. It's just because you can't defend yourself. But if, hold on, Mr. Rickford Thomas, I know I can't help you, partner. I got to the comprehension of because you lack the knowledge thereof, right? Let me show you what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, to my Moorish brothers and sisters, and to my Aboriginal. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what it's gotta laugh. It says here your show would be more interesting if you do another fake kidnapping. I mean, we got to comprehend when the words that comes out of our mouths, how effectively, negatively or positively it can affect our lives. Much as sit down to write it, you have to create the energy and the thoughts Y'all get my point? You gotta create the electric magnetic wave. And if you do it in a negative manner, then you can understand all the negative things that it comes after you. Because you put it out there. Some of us doesn't even know that we intentionally does it, but you put it out there. And it says here, and you will have to be and you will have to be in a weekdays to earn the living. The word earn are for the ashes of the dead. So you're working for a earn, which is everything is of the dead. Ask anymore, they will tell you, oh, you're a living dead because you've already declared dead. From the day you're being accepted into an institution that's a corporate entity that is seen as a commerce, you cannot be alive. You actually being declared dead. This is why they give you a time of entry and a time of expiration. That is why you check your ID cards, you check your passports. That's what it means. Time of entry and the time of expiration, that means you're dead. And they could only trade on you when you're dead. They can't trade on you when you're alive. Alive means a living soul. Alive means educated or edified to a point where you comprehend the etymology of the laws and words that surrounds you. That's when you're alive. You're being seen as a living soul. But when you depend upon a system to edify you, feed you, clothe you, give you medication, take away your thoughts, your will, you're a dead person. So everything that surrounds you have to be in the manner of a dead person. You awake in the sense of awake, and you mourn in the sense of those that your own funeral that that you're keeping awake of. You understand? And then you show them that you're earning a living based upon the earn that your body got to be in. And here is the funny part. The word job, we call jobs undertaking. Jobs is a self, it's in itself is a Hebrew word for prosecuted. So when you say, oh, I gotta go and get a job tomorrow, it is that you're really going to get a job. Job is a Hebrew word for prosecution. So you're going to let those handle you, to prosecute you, oppress you, so you can become that living dead. You could become that dead person. So what I'm really trying to get at is that English in itself was really created for the democratic system. Let me ask you all a question. Check all the world leaders that we're talking about. You check the Pope, you check the Queen of England, and all these people who are in charge of these domiciled institutions. Check and see what is their main language that they speak. You think English language is their main language? No, they don't speak English language. No. They use it for you. Who doesn't know any other language but English? They're going to use it for you to speak in front of you. But if they want to get really hard, the only place now that speaks Latin is Rome. There are others who speak Latin, yes, but it's a church because the church realizes all the languages somebody knows something. So little they know, it's the better. And they speak Latin. They speak Latin to do their business. Everything for them. As a matter of fact, Although Rome is found in Italy, it's a separate institution, corporation of Italy. It's like a country within a country. And its national language is Latin. That's the fact. So the more you don't know yourself is the more dead you become. The more you use languages to take your life to create that electronic vibration, because you got to use energies to speak, to create words so your tongue can use. So now we are trying to use the same language that they put for us to enslave us, to bring us out of that slavery. So it becomes a hard thing for them because here why? For every word that was created to put together to create an English language comes from a different language and it has a different meaning. It can't have the same meaning. The same pronunciation can have a different meaning to the original pronunciation. It has to have the same meaning. And that's their problem. Because if you go to the other country and you use the word love, like in, for instance, like in Portuguese, amor. Amor means love in English. But it is hard for you to ask the person who speaks Portuguese to say love because they don't know what's the meaning. They know what's amor. Y'all get my point? So they're accustomed to saying mi amor means love. Well, they keep it. It's part of their vocabulary. It's part of their culture. It's part of their speech. It is who they are. Their language becomes law. You can't just walk into the parliament and say, oh, amor means love. No, they will throw you out. Hola, wait. Uh, I got put up Ryan. I got put up Ryan. Ryan Balkaram. A piece of time I used to want to delete y'all. Because I mean, you used to get the comment, the people who were making the comments frustrated. But I can tell you something, Ryan. Well, I can use 2 months in advance rent. See if you want, I can send you the phone number, the information. You can pay the rent. I'd be very much happy. Okay, Ryan? And I tell you, I must call in. I mean, heaven knows, who knows. Sometimes you're only a 400-pound man sit down behind a desktop and just got a fake picture up. What you can do, you can ask me for the information. I can send it to you, and then you can call the people and say, look, I want to pay Brother Matthews-Bey rent. I very much appreciate it. Do it 2 months in advance. So I could sit down here, son, and I can sit here and I can be able to edify you some more. Good. So the Hebrew word job means prosecuted. And what we get at the end of the life, it's at the week's end of the deal, which is the earn. Y'all get my point? You work all week for an earn and you get a week end of the deal. Week end of the deal, which is an earn. We can't profit from what is the earn? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The fiat money. Y'all get my point? We get week end of the deal, which is the earn. When we earn a salary, what is the salary? Money. What is money? Paper. What is paper? Ashes. Because when it's decaying and eroding, it erodes into ashes or it burns into ashes. So we get the weak end of the deal. We get the weak end of something that doesn't make sense. And why it doesn't make sense? I want to show you a simple example. Look at our look at our brother next door to us, Venezuela. Just take a very good look. All the years people work, save their money, bank it, and suddenly they wake up one day and what's going on? Suddenly, all the money that you work for, all the millions of dollars, could only buy two loaf of bread. The weekend of the deal, all the money that you work for, and that savings that you save up, you toil night and day, you work overtime. Sometimes you work 6 years straight without leave, Sunday to Sunday. And to know that all that you have done becomes zero, nothing. And you get frustrated, your temperature rise, next thing you know, you die. You just as another one, bite the dust because you got the weak end of the deal. So you check it. Wake in the morning, that's your wake. You're morning on your wake. I want you all to comprehend me, what I'm saying. And then you earn a living. The earn is normally the ashes for the dead. So as you earn the living, what comes out of the earn is the fiat dollar because you're actually earning a living for yourself, which is the dead person because you're already being declared dead. You have no, you cannot be identified. The only person can identify you is the system. So you can't do nothing without the system. Everything you have to do, everything the system has to do for you. The system got to find a job for you, which the job means oppression. It's amazing. Imagine the job is to prosecute you. Prosecute you into what? Oppression. That's the job. That's the meaning of it. It's a Hebrew word. So you awake in the morning, you say that you're awake, and then you morning, and then you go to work to earn. The earnings that you work for is ashes. Is actually you, the dead person. You understand? And in the prescribed earning, it's a job. When you go to the job, it's to be prosecuted, so you can die quickly, physically. You're already dead spiritually, because the words that comes out of your mouth takes you there. It's an energy force. And when you come and you see me, you say, well, oh, hello. But if you check, the word hello means oh hell. They just move the O from in front and carry it to at the back, and move the O from the front and carry it to the tail. So you just say hello. But if you carry back the O, because you have to check and see where the origin of the word comes from, how it was originated. Some people say, oh, it's part of Portuguese, but it's not Portuguese. Because Portuguese, you say hola. That's what you say. Hola. We need to comprehend that whatever we say can and will be used against us in the court of law. And what is the law? What is the court of law? It is a court of law that we give structure to. When the court of law was first created, if we stand up against the court of law, well, then the court of law makes no sense. The court of law could only make sense is when we enter into it to give ourselves up to be prosecuted. And how are we being prosecuted? We got a lot of jobs that we got to go to. Some of us steal for a living. That's a prosecution. That alone gonna be prosecuted. Some of us are white collar criminals. Some of us are blue collar criminals. Some of us they call themselves custodians of the acts and statutes of the law. Yes. Some of us are crazy no tail. You know, you hear them flying in your head, and then when you sit down to say the things, and then you realize that you're not making sense. And when the truth is being spoken, then you're trying to switch it over. You, the crazy one, trying to tell me, the educated one, that I'm crazy. Seriously, you never check it. You never hear the old time saying. Sometimes the old people, one of the older folks will tell you, too much education ain't good for you. You'd run mad. Some of you never heard that. Some of you, when you see the man walking in the road, you hear he got so much degrees, you turn and says the education make you get mad. No, the education didn't make you get mad. Education didn't make him get mad at all. You need to find out what got him crazy. It is there to edify you, not education. Education is there to sustain who you are. That's an animal, or two-thirds or one-third a human being. Only animals can be educated. Living souls edify themselves or edify each other. And I say living souls because I don't want to say human, because humans are becoming subhuman. That's the point. You're owned by someone. It's a tragic thing to know at the end of the day that someone owns you. Someone owns your children, a whole corporation. And you ask yourself, how can they own me and my children? It is because they identify you. You signed on to it. Signing on to anything means it's a contract that you have now entered into for them to regularize your life. Oh, I got to sign to the birth certificate, no problem. You sign on to the birth certificate. I'm the mother of Uban, and then there's a father of Uban. Both of you are now signing on to a contract to hand that child over to the corporate entity, which we call the government, willingly. So now they're in charge of the growth of that child. You got to take that child to the medical center. You best do, because they put you in jail for it. Yeah. You check the Guyanese constitution. The government has complete rights over the child that you hand over to them. They have complete rights. They have executive rights over your children. See what has happened when you said that they said whether you physically or you verbally abuse the child. What happens? The child is not sent to a family. The institution, the corporate institution takes the child from you and puts that child in the corporate institution and keeps him or she there, and they call it uh opportunity corpse. It's not an opportunity corpse, it's a jail. It's a jail. It's not an opportunity corpse, because the child, when they go there, they don't learn nothing. They're just being in a house full of children with your beds next to them, and they live like that until when they meet 18. And what do you think happen? The same institution kicks them to the curve with nothing, not a thing, ready for them again. Because remember now, they're gone to the curve, they're done slaves, they're ready for you again. So now you gotta come to me for a job. I can prosecute you some more. And the same physical abuse the child went through when at a particular age coming up, the the corporation, which is the government, carries them through the physical abuse, especially if it's a girl child. What? And the girl for know that you come out of a hostile, man. Them adult, those adolescents, pedophiles, just make a mess of them children. Yeah, Espe- man, you making joke, make a mess of them children. So at the end of the day, what are you benefiting? What is the child benefiting? The child now can't complain to nobody because it's the same government institution that the child came out from, which was a prison, and gone into now, when they meet 18, going through the same physical abuse. So you have a lot of dead people walking around because what do you think happened? The spiritual aspect of the child shuts down. Boom. They can't do nothing for themselves. They can't help themselves. You go to the police. Oh my gosh. Don't ask. Might end up like the US. Don't ask, don't tell. That might be the problem. And if you make an allegation, or you gotta find the police guilty, or you gotta find those who had harmed that child guilty, especially if they're an officer of the law, of the codes and conducts and statutes of the corporation. Well, we can't try them, we can't find them. You watch. You're making joke. This thing is a serious thing I'm talking about. And if we don't edify ourselves, if you, the parent who knows the truth, like myself, don't edify your children and try to bring them up in a way in which they can defend themselves against an institution that has the will to continue enslaving a people, it's just like an added slave to the rest that we got. Seriously. And I can't, as again I say earlier, I can't pad it. I can't pad it. I can't pad the truth. I like to bring it out in the raw version. I can't sit down and create words to tell you the real thing. I will tell you the real deal, as plain as it's simple as it can. Because I don't want to put it in the can and cover it and come and tell you, oh, you got to keep rubbing the can and the can go open, like how like how the genie come out of the bottle. No, that's not Gaffer Matthews. I'm not going to do that. So making sure when you say hello to someone, it's not the right thing. It best you say hi or greetings, my brother or sister. Greetings, happy sunrise. These are the words that we can use because it means something. The sun is rising, happy sunrise. Yes, it's a new day. And to make sure that we're dead completely, remember they said nothing is new under the sun. You imagine that. We grew up with that. Your grandma say, nothing is new under the sun because what is coming now is already foretold. No, every day is a new day. Every day is a new day. We sleep, revitalize ourselves. You understand? We rise when the sun has risen and we see a new day. It is. Because what happened yesterday in our visions and comprehensions ain't happening today. That's already gone. It become history. But what's the problem? If we do not edify ourselves and comprehend the laws in which we live in, the past will become the present because it repeat itself. And when it repeats itself, we become reincarnated all the time because the past keep repeating itself over and over and over again. Until when we get it right. We got to get it right. We as a people need to comprehend that getting the situation right is putting us on par. You got to create energies, positive energies. Talk when the day comes. You got to continue doing that to increase peace, love, and friendship among our fellow living souls, our brothers and sisters. Oh, and I forgot. to I gotta remember to do this every night too. To give appreciation and honor to the women that brought us into this world. Because at the end of the day, they are our sacred veil. Men, without the women, we couldn't be leaders. But another night, we can talk about the women and how sacred they are to us. Not secret, sacred. How important are them to us? We we don't know this, but we need to start comprehending it. They are responsible for life on earth. Do you know when we say man, it's a combination of both man and woman? I can't be a man without a woman, and a woman can't be a man without me. So when we say man, it's a combination of it's two living souls that becometh one. So when you call yourself a man, you cannot be a bachelor or a bachelorette. You can't live on your own to say that you're a woman. That is why the system now takes away that from us because we don't know that we now identified as a companionship, one person. The system teaches us about self, self, self-recognition, independence from who? From yourself? Well, look what happens when you're independent from yourself. Everything goes chaos. It becomes a corruption. It becomes more corrupted than any other thing. So it makes us imperfect because we lose the better half of us. We are born into this world to become one. Now we got people lining up at what you call it? The sperm bank to be impregnated. I mean, you gotta be serious. That is why we're in the state in which we are. We become a lost people. And we like to say, oh, when we go to church, we become found. No, you're still lost. You are still lost. Because if you say you found God when you go to church, you get to realize that the Supreme Being, his origination intentions on this planet Earth is always two, male and female. And you're still looking for recognition. But he's telling you in the scriptures that it's about male and female. It's never about one particular individual. It's always about two. It says, replenish the earth, give birth, and populate the place, and teach positiveness. Teach the respect of natural laws and nature of life because you are a living soul. Your words become law. Your life becomes law. And we don't know that unless somebody teach us that. And when somebody comes to teach us that, they end up lying to us. And because we start believing and stop knowing, we become stagnant because to believe is to become stagnant. To know, it's an evolution. You evolve. You don't stick to one thing over and over again. Not every year is the same thing. As you read and you teach your children and you teach others, you evolve because you become knowledgeable of more facts. You now become enlightened as an enlightened individual. You use words that people can comprehend the etymology of it. So I was telling my friend earlier today, I said, look, Guyana is a corporate entity. It was set up for commerce by the British and how they formulate their lands like last night when I was talking about they formulate their lands by a declaration of acknowledgement by the indigenous people who decided to call themselves or decided to be recognized by the system as Amerindians, which means American Indians. And when you study the word Indians or India, it means indigo, a darker people. Can you imagine? Every single indigenous word around the world represents one particular race or one particular identification of people, indigos. The word aboriginal is a darker race of people. The word Indians, like how they wanted to say, no, like no, it's like how they wanted to identify the people in America and like the US, those Indians, and people said, no, no, you can't call me Indians because I'm not black. But that's what it means. Everything around the world, everything that comprises of an indigenous language or talk represents the people of a darker race. The Swarty people, the darker race. The Aboriginals, darker race. Uh, the Asiatic, imagine Africa, Europe, China, Russia, all of those places were seen as the Asiatic Peninsula. All of them. Even to my friend were trying to tell me last night, didn't know today that uh what was the word? Just now I'm going to remember. Just now I'm going to remember. Ah, brother, these words are the tip of my tongue, and sometimes it takes a hard time for me to for it to come out. You understand? Uh I'm going to remember just now. But everything, everything, everything pertaining to the indigenous words, settlements, you check it up. It was pertaining to people of the darker race. Like when when the Greeks went into Africa and they found they found the Egyptians that they call Egypt because they give the name Egypt. They call the people Nubians. The word Nubia. It means people of a dark complexion. That's what it means. Sudan. The word Sudan means people of a dark complexion. And Sudan is an Arabic word. If people really try to comprehend, like for instance, Europa was a queen who ruled Europe named after her. It was a race of people of a dark complexion. Scotland or Ireland is the same thing. People of a dark complexion that populated that particular area. If you knew who were really the true royalties of the throne of England, man, you got Queen Elizabeth skating, she and all her family. But we need to comprehend where are we and why the English language is so created to control the world to enslave its population. Remember, these people study 300-400 years in advance, you know. These people realize if they make these changes now, 300 years from now, it's going to be this what we're talking about. And you know what these people realize too? Let me tell you what these people realize. These people realize that if they if they did not complete what they set out to do, they will come back again and complete that. They know that. It is a fact. Why you think they make the cultures of people religions? Why you think they did that? Because they didn't want the people to find out where they came from and where they're going. They understood our lives. They knew it was 7 months, 1 year, 52 days, 1 month. They knew these things. They knew a female cycle is 52 days. They knew these things because they read the text. They know it's 52 days a month. Makes it to 364 days a month, and on the birthday makes it 365 days in a month, and the following day becomes the new year. They knew these things, but they put everything in a zodiac calendar. Zodiac means the 12 signs of the 12 seasons in a 7 month plan and period, according to the stars. They knew that seven is the greater than any other thing. They knew seven seas, seven continents. They knew seven stars, seven trumpets, seven seals. They knew these things. 7 days a week, 7 months, 1 year. They knew these things. Each month carry 52 days, but they don't want to tell us that because they know if we be able to read our zodiac signs, we're able to comprehend what will happen tomorrow. They knew that if we read our zodiac signs completely and properly, that we will live a better life as a people because we will know what tomorrow brings. But because we have to depend upon them for our future, they know that if people have to depend upon one person to tell their future, then they're dead. Because to be domiciled is to be dead. To be ignorant is to be dead. To be an idiot is to be dead. To be a slave is to be dead. They knew these things. They knew these things. They know if you call yourself an African, you're naming yourself after the European general that named the entire continent Africa. But they knew if you stand up and you say, oh no, I come from Kemet or I come from Kush, they knew that they can't they knew that they can't challenge you if you say you came from Kemet or you came from Kush. They can challenge you if you say you came from Africa. Yeah, because they understood the reason or how Africa was created, the name, and say this is the continent of Africa. They knew these things. They knew if you say Yasuf, Yasuf means Egypt, but they got a problem because you're not supposed to know these things. You're just all supposed to know Egypt. Like if I look at you and I put in an application, I said, identify please, what race are you? Black, Portuguese, East Indian? Here will be the problem. Those are names that they give to you for you to be identified as a slave. So if you say, "Oh yes, I'm black," but if you cross out black and say Aboriginal, well, they're gonna tell you, well, the system can't accept it. So far, so what? You can't do without me. See if the system won't accept it, well, system won't accept it. It's a system business. I am not black. Black is a definition of a color. It's an adjective. Are you an adjective? Seriously, are you an adjective? Or am I an aboriginal? Abstract from the father. Am I an aboriginal? Am I an indigenous person? One man said, well, you gotta go to the government to declare to what's the word he used? Denounce your citizenship. No, I don't have to. They came here and met me. My foreparents would have agreed to be identified by the system, but my foreparents were here before them. So I denounce my citizenship and I go back to the lineage of my foreparents. They're in problems now because they have entered into a contract with my foreparents, in which you call the treaty, to do commerce and economic activity on the land of my foreparents, and I'm supposed to be paid a royalty, which today they call, what's the word? Oh, brother. I'm trying. It's like It's like if you want to, you're supposed to be paid the 40 acres and a mule. But that's the royalty that they're supposed to give to us. They don't want to give that to us. They want to continue to control us as a people. You understand? They want to control us as a people. They want to tell us how we may live and how we may look like. And they want to categorize us as different levels of black people. You could imagine. You could imagine me had to explain to the Indian guy today who is an indigo, means black. Me had to explain to him you can't say Kuli boy because Kuli was the name of a ship. Well, he said, no, it's some caste system in India. No, it's the name of a ship. It's the shipping system from one people from Madras. Oh, yes, the word is Madras. I was trying to remember today, earlier in the show, right? They were shipping Hindus or Hindustanis from Madrasa and Calcutta to come to Guyana. And they look at them and say, well, okay, if you want me call you black, well, I can call you indigos. It's the same thing. And when you come here, you still got to speak English, you could only identify yourself as an Indian. You could imagine you speaking Hindi or you're quoting the Bhagavad Gita or you're quoting passages out of it, which is written in Hindi, but you're still identifying yourself as Indian, East Indian, East Indigo, East Black. That's what it means. West Indian, West Indigo, West Black. That's what it means. These words were created to identify an oppressed people that will be enslaved for a period of time. And because of all these words, and it says hello means oh hell, it says the hands of collusion entangling the language to foster illusion. Illusion means a color scheme that we live by. That's what it means. Illusion means the democratic system that we so longer love. That I did love about 2 months ago. Because when I started reading and started following up constitutional references, not knowing that that's a fake also too. Democracy is a shadow government to instill racism. Hold on. To instill racism, to instill capitalism, to instill slavery, to take away your rights, your inalienable rights, the right to life, liberty, and property, which all are born with. That's what democracy is for. And we didn't know. For me, I didn't know. I thought it was, it was something nice. I embraced it. I was fired up on the show, you remember? All of you. Although I sat down here and I read out the Constitution pertaining to what Jagdu tell Norton, he wanted him to quote the Representation of the People's Act. They both know that that's democracy. Who can play the game better? They know that. It's just some people, when they become leaders, they decide not to go the democratic way because they realize the democratic way is a capitalist system that enslaves the people, that becomes a dictatorship. But if you reject the democratic system, like what Hugo Chavez did, well, they can kill you because they said they are leading a people out of slavery. But that's what you need to do. That's what leaders were born for. You got to lead the people out of slavery. And you got if you got to die doing it, well, that's the point. But you not only lead the people out of slavery, you have to edify them. Wait name? Soko Prasad. Soko Prasad. I am so sorry for you. Believe you me. I think if you I think if you sit down to comprehend, let me be so frank with you. From everything that comes out of your mouth, or you use the energy to type it in to create that magnetic force, comes right back to you. So you can imagine coming home tomorrow and you take the cover off your plate and you realize that is what you're really eating. Think about it. We got to comprehend the etymology of words. You understand? It says here the culture's theology is the etymology. Your theology is your etymology, the meaning of your words, and you do not depart yourself from the meaning of your words. Study your culture, study yourself approved, not only to yourself, but the people around you. Use the right context of the meaning of words in which it was created for. Edify them, teach them not to say certain things because whatever they say becomes law. And this is what the democratic system prosecutes them for what they say, the things that they do. Yes. And how it evolves over time. Because if you continue doing this, it will be evolved over time. Let's call you evolve is saying morning. Morning is an evolution over time. Certain years ago, you can't find nobody telling nobody morning. Because the first thing they want to know who you mourning for. When you tell somebody, oh, I awake this morning and asking, you went to wake for somebody, who are you talking about? Talking about yourself, a dead person, because you have no consciousness of the etymology of the words that you're using. And as you use it over time, it takes up energy. You become the same, you become the same words that utter to you. You become dead, domicile. So when you go before the courts now, the courts have to treat you like a dead person, domicile, because you acknowledge who you are. I don't think the magistrates and the judges know that. They know that, but they're not going to tell you that. The system is designed to make money off the dead, keep you there. To be in slavery is to be a dead person. And I'm serious. And how it evolves over time to undermine the original thoughts it defines. So when you keep on saying, oh, you know, by the treating black people real bad, by do not kind of thing to black people, they like that. Over time, it defines your thoughts by constantly using the word. So people get to realize they treat you based upon your IQ. They treat you based upon the etymology of your words and your speech. They look at you different. Some of them don't want nothing to do with you. No, they don't want nothing to do with you at all. They keep you at bay. Now you understand the reason why we use bay. Keep me at bay. Bay means respect, title. They keep me at bay. You think they don't want to come and bay and challenge me? No. So that's why if I turn up and I say, "Oh, my name is Gavin Matthews-Bey," I say, "Oh, okay, that's a serious title." They're going to tell people now, don't talk to Gavin Matthews. He's a man to keep far from. They may add a few things. They say, "Oh, he heading good. Going a little crazy now. You ever listen to the things he say now?" This is what they're going to tell you. But because I'm teaching you to comprehend, I'm helping you to understand over the things that makes sense. Don't stand under it. It is best you say understood than say understand. It's best you say I comprehend or I acknowledge or I stand over what you're saying. We got to stop using the words good morning because nobody's mourning for anything. You need to stop mourning for yourself. Happy sunrise, my sister or brother. We have to comprehend the meaning of these words. We got to stop saying, "Oh, I want a job. I got to go look for a job." Because the minute you turn up at the workplace and you say, "I'm looking for a job," and applicant is that you're going to be prosecuted. There's no one that tells me, can tell me no, after being employed in an institution or being given a job, they were never prosecuted in those institutions. They went through a line of prosecution. Some of them endure it, and they bring more slaves in. And they like to tell you, "Oh, well, you got to come in, you got to earn a salary." Earn something that keeps ashes. What are the ashes? Salary? Are you serious? Yes, I am. We got to think, get the comprehension. To those who want or who would like to have a copy of the digital Black Law Dictionary, I want you to contact me. I would like for you to contact me. I want to make sure that when I come on again another night to talk about these things, I want you to be able to have a perspective of what you're looking for so you can better learn. I've given it to a few people already, but I don't want to throw pearls to swine because you got to start reading it. Some of us, the only language we know is English, so I have to start teaching you to defend yourself in English with the languages and meaning of words that they gain from other languages that they use against you. Because anything you say can and will be used against you in the courts of law, which you are. When you enter into that building, then it becomes law. If you don't enter into the building, it doesn't becomes law. It becomes a court on board a ship. But when you enter into the building to defend yourself, it now becomes law. They sit and they look at you and they say, "Oh, look at all these people." Those persons, which is law, because you now got to come to defend yourself. Because I'm here to prosecute you based upon the words that comes out of your mouth. And if you don't know the etymology of words, you will go to jail because you're a slave. You can't turn up to defend yourself when you don't know what you're doing. When you hire a lawyer, the lawyer can't do nothing much. The lawyer can only practice acts, codes, and statutes on you because you have no knowledge of the fact. I want to say thank you to those who have took some time to be a part of this discussion. I really wanted you to call in tonight, but it's okay. Remember, every Friday night is a call-in night, and we want to have certain discussions. I am trying to bring other brothers on this show that will mostly put things over to you in a, you know, in a different manner because it's needed. For me, I know I'm a bit straight up to some people, but I want to invite other brothers who are more learned than me, and they are Moors, so they can better much explain to you exactly what is being said to you. And I know some people comprehend what I'm saying. I know a lot of people comprehend what I'm saying because the kind of calls that I get, but some people are afraid to identify themselves. Don't be afraid. Moors are not afraid. Aboriginal peoples are not afraid. We stand for freedom, peace, and justice. That's what we stand for. And we cannot erase that fact. I stand for it. Wholly and solely, I will keep on standing for it. But again, I say this is Dr. Matthews-Bey. I appreciate those who have took the time to listen in this 1 hour plus session. And I want you to invite you again on Monday night to tune in. I haven't chosen the topic as yet, but I have a whole weekend to divulge upon the meaning of words and the etymology of it. I'll come back to you on Monday fresh. I want to say to you, Black Love still continues to sell. It is a brand. So now we could say Black Love and doesn't mean to ourselves. It means something. Doesn't means people. And contact me on 592-611-6575 and also for the Black Love and also for the Black Laws Dictionary. Stay safe, sanitize yourself, wear a mask, and don't forget the little ones you take into public places. This is Dr. Matthews-Bey saying good night and Cheerios for now.